Hello, everybody. Welcome to Waffle Talk. Today, we're going to talk about Dice Camera Action, episode 134. Dice Camera Action is a show on Twitch. It's a D&D game run by Chris Perkins, maybe the best DM in the world. I don't know. Matt Mercer, the best? I don't know. I guess it's subjective. Usually, it's probably your DM is the best DM in the world, I guess. It's really what it probably comes down to. Shauna, can you run down what is going on and what happened on this episode?
Yeah, so this is continuation from the combat at the Waffle House from last episode, where the party was the house is being invaded by basically remnants of every faction that they've had bad dealings with in Wardy around this heist. So they managed to eke their way out of not getting killed or not having any of their friends being killed by this, including the Red Viper and the rest of their friends and the children, which was definitely dicey having the children not being killed. So after they repel the invading forces, they figure out that the imps that downed Paulton took the stone, and connecting the dots, figured out that it was the castle hunters that have the stone right now. So at the end of the episode, we're left with the plan of Trix is going to give them a talk, and Diath and Paulton and the rest of the Waffle crew have to figure out what their next plan is. And that's how we got it.
Yeah, it was part 2 of the chaotic melee.
God.
There were so many people involved.
Okay, so we had the Zents, Jarlaxle's people. We've had the Castle Hunter imps, and the kids, Waffle Crew,
Earth Elemental.
Earth Rajnar, and then there's a lot of moving parts going on, happening and in different parts of the house.
Not even just at the Waffle House. Like, there was the Seabane's Fair Parade.
Yes.
There were the flying snakes with the Alchemist Fire. There's whatever's going on at the Godcatcher still.
Yep.
So.
Oh, I forgot to mention that anybody watching live on Twitch, if you post something in the chat, it will appear on the screen. So feel free to throw up your comments or questions, and we will try to address them as we go. I took a bunch of notes from this episode. 2 guest stars, Sister Narai, played by Brooks, and the Black Viper, who may or may not be a noble the group has met before, played by Vivid Vivka. Vivka, who is one of my favorite D&D players, I think. It's freaking awesome. Good. She's fun. Hi, Sima. Hi, Vixen. Oh, Vixen says Simon is alive. At the end of the last episode, it was like, yeah. I was thinking about this. Okay, this is kind of weird. So in D&D, when you're running the game, right? When a character goes down, they make death saves. But when an NPC goes down, it's like, are they dead?
It's player, PC like. So there's a little bit of a different hands you get treated with.
I think every DM handles it differently, and part of it might just be whatever fits the story, but that can feel a little cheap sometimes. And I was thinking of a way to handle it that I might try in my games. They make death saves, but they fail everyone automatically.
Oh
yeah, you have
so you got 3 rounds to save them. So I thought
that makes sense, actually.
That is kind of a negative. I mean, you could have them roll, but things are going to get kind of bogged
either
down.
That or it's having that it's actually better than having roll or you rolled a 1.
Yeah,
no, having those NPCs just go having time. I mean, just even having them have time.
They rolled a 1.
If they roll a 1, it's always they say.
Although if they rolled a 20, it'd be nice.
Yeah. But it's always the 1. It's always the 1.
It's always the 1, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe I would do that from now on, where they all.
It's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Each death save. I think that's kind of a fair way to do it.
I know
Instead of just having them
for
be
like
dead.
important party-related NPCs like Simon kind of is. I know I give him death saves,
Mhm.
whereas like just throwaway NPCs are dead.
Maybe you could have one NPC in your campaign that gets like normal, and the players can pick it.
That'd be
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Very important NPC.
So they get to pick one that can make those saves, and the rest kind of at the DM's whim.
Yeah. They were.
But I'm glad that Simon wasn't dead.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
Same.
I'm also glad. Yeah, like none of the children
Yeah.
got killed because they got downed, and I was like, they're in like not like a stinging cloud. It's like, is he gonna kill them if like they don't get to the kids?
Yeah. That could have been nasty.
Yeah.
It's weird having the kids run around, and when they only have like 5 hit points.
Yeah.
It's just like, that cloud didn't do a lot of damage, but it would have killed the kids.
Yeah. If you're
Oh, yeah.
if you're downed, it's
Oh, yeah.
really bad because you just fail saves. You fail saves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sima, hello Sima, says, I hope that with Evelyn and Strix following the imps, Evelyn will finally use divine sense for what it's supposed to do. Whoa, and finding invisible imps instead of
Yeah.
trying to detect alignments with it. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. What's the range on that though? Isn't it only 60 feet?
It's close, but I mean they know
They know where
the
their
imps
house
are going.
is.
Yeah, they know where the imps are going. It's like it's
Well,
not.
it's funny because I was thinking that, and I'm like, oh well, do Evelyn and Strix are they just gonna fly around and look for imps, or are they gonna shoot right for the house?
I think it seems like they're going to go right for the house.
And I don't have my book in front of me, but how fast do imps fly? Like,
Ooh.
if
Let me
it's
check.
only like 30,
I don't think they go much faster than regular speed
they had a bit of a head start though.
because I've had an imp and
You know,
Sorry.
it didn't.
it's just like
They have 40 fly speed,
Yeah.
so 80 if they dash.
they had a good head start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably a couple minutes, probably.
Yeah, a couple minutes.
With the banishments for sure, yeah.
So, and if the imps fly invisible in a straight line to the castle lanterns, I mean, Evelyn and Strix are just gonna have to go to the castle lanterns, and
Yeah.
it's probably too late. This whole episode was just basically like the bad guys got the stone before the group could really do anything.
It was just more about we need to get everyone safe, and then we'll deal with the stone because it's like it was just like mostly the fight, and then because like the imps were already gone by the time like the episode started.
Mm-hmm.
I
think it depends on whether or not, because like it takes an hour to attune to the stone, so it depends on whether or not the castle lanterns are going to sit at home and attune to it, or if they're going to go somewhere else, like because obviously someone's going to check the house if they know they have it.
Yeah.
Sima asking about the background. Thank you. Yeah, just it's one of these free commercial use free things I grabbed. I try to make each one different from the last one so they stick out. Vixen depends on the NPC. Yep. Sima, what was the gas spell? I thought Stinking Cloud doesn't deal damage, and it didn't feel like Cloud Kill.
It seemed like a weaker version of Cloud Kill almost.
If it was the
weird.
drow, it might have been a drow dealy.
Maybe.
I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah, it didn't do much. It did like 8 damage. If you made your save, it did 4. So
yeah.
Chris doesn't use static damage. He rolls.
Well, I just looked up Drow Mage, and they have Cloud Kill, so it might have been. Could have just rolled very poorly.
Seems pretty weak.
Yeah.
But we can have that sometimes.
Sima says if they transform into a raven, they can fly for 60 feet.
Oh.
The imps. Yeah, it's true. And
they were ravens at the house.
Oh, that's right. They were.
Yep.
Vixen, I really wish that Diath would have just thrown Moon Splinter wildly out the window, just in case the imps weren't that far away. Yeah, but then they might have killed a neighbor.
Also, Diath does not have the best luck with The dagger.
Like some ladies just washing dishes.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
Sister Narai already set houses on fire.
yeah, it's just one more grievance. One more grievance.
That
against
wasn't
everyone.
them necessarily. You can't
It wasn't
pin that
them,
on
it's
them.
true.
You can't pin it on them. You don't know.
At this point, it's like there's so many grievances against them. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if the people in the neighborhood pooled their money and hired an assassin or something to take them out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Explode the house.
Just
Paula just gets Zaraj to shoot them.
Yeah.
just frame them for something, or just get all the guilds after them. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah, I would not want to
I
live next to
actually,
them.
the house next door, I used to be like a crack house, and so I sympathize with the neighbors. They used to have these parties, and like all these people from all over would flock next door, and like the middle of the night, and there'd be like fights on the lawn. It was crazy. And so like the
my
Waffle
God.
House is sort of like the crack house of Waterdeep, It's just not. You can't live next to that. You just can't.
Instead of crack, they have pies with glass in it.
Pies with glass in it. Yeah.
They have pies with glass in it. You can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, they did try to like think about spicing the pies up with healing potions.
That wasn't a bad idea.
It was a bad idea.
Sima. Well, he could have hit one of them Oh yeah, in the parade, he could have hit somebody at the parade as well.
Yeah.
Very true. Moonsplinter. Remisis says, well, now that Narai and Esvel both know the imps got the stone, there may be another multi-faction showdown. That's true. This is true. This time at the Castellanter house. And the Harpers may know as well, since Paulton still carries his bugged loot.
Yep.
You're right.
God.
The Harpers know everything that's going on right now. The Harpers could get there first.
It's true.
The Harpers might be at the Castellanter estate before the heroes get there.
Maybe.
Jeez. And yeah, there might be another multi-faction showdown. I was expecting. There's a point on this episode where Viper and Dieth were upstairs, and she was looting Simon. I kind of expected them to interact a little more, but they didn't.
I don't think there was enough time. I think it's very
hectic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vixen says, I thought the parade was a few streets away. Dieth's throwing range is only 60 feet. Yeah. And so, and that was one of the things that was pointed out in this episode, that apparently the Sea Maidens Fair parade was just set purposely to distract the attention of the city watch while this thing went down.
Yep.
Hey, where is Jarlaxle right now anyway?
He was at the Godcatcher still, apparently, right?
Yeah.
Last time we saw him.
But he sent some drow here.
Yeah.
But they got driven away, I guess, by the Earth Elemental?
It sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the mage was in the basement and it just got wrecked.
Yeah,
Is it possible that Jarlaxle is in disguise somewhere in the house?
In the house? I don't know.
I think it's probably two.
I don't know. I'm looking at the map of Waterdeep. It looks like the Godcatcher, Trollskull Alley, and Castellanter Villa create like this little triangle in the northern side of the city. So they're all relatively close to each other. So yeah, it might come down to another big battle for all we know.
Yeah, maybe.
Vixen asks, would Paulton have taken the loot to the auction? I mean, unless he says he doesn't.
I think he did, yeah.
He knows, everyone usually takes their things with them. It's like his implement to cast, so.
Yeah. Yeah, then definitely. Simon, I thought they were right outside. Didn't Narai walk straight out the door into the party? I don't remember. Close. Definitely very close. Probably not right outside, because then the City Watch would literally see this going on at the manor. So it had to be a little ways away.
Yeah, it seemed like it took Sister Narai a little bit to get to the where the parade was happening.
So I think Chris said it was on the high road. So from the looks of it, the Godcatcher is like 3 streets over from the high road, and then Trollskull Alley is like another 3 streets to the other side.
Remisis says that the crew never explicitly says when they're carrying their things with them. Just assume Paulton always has the loot on him.
Yeah.
I would say, unless they say otherwise, they have all their stuff on them.
Unless stated, or like there's a reason stated beforehand why they wouldn't have it. You know, like,
Exactly.
I know
Yeah.
certain things that Diaz would keep in his chests, but
Yeah.
so once you declare it in the game, then yeah. Otherwise, it's like you probably have all that stuff with
because
you.
it's one of those things you kind of have to like. Let that be the case. You want to ask like, do you have your thing still,
Mhm.
or you don't want to also like have them feel like it's a gotcha thing. It's like you went to this party, you don't have your stuff with you. It's like
Oh,
I didn't know that. Yeah, it's like
all right.
all right. You don't have your weapons. Like I wouldn't have started this fight if I didn't have my weapons with me.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Yeah.
Sima says Jarlaxle is right behind Diaz, and we'll see that first thing next episode. What makes you say that? Why?
I think just because Jarlaxle's so sneaky, he just shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Especially, he's shown up in their house like 3 times already.
Yeah.
So
And
it's a very real possibility.
He's able to magically disguise himself as other people.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's like he could be almost anyone. Like one of the kids could easily get replaced by Jarlaxle. You know,
That'd be pretty
Okay.
funny.
they wouldn't know. Vixen says the parade was still a few blocks down because after the whole parade scene, Narai had to catch the snakes, and when Diaz was on the roof, he had to roll high to see the fire from the rooftops. Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Let's see. It was a long episode, long and stressful. It was
This was
kind of
not.
like
This was not the most like. This was still not as bad as the Iron Slag.
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, that was a big one.
Although this is more complicated. I think this is like that's probably as complicated as you want to get for like Fear of the Mind. With that
Mhm.
much happening,
Yeah,
because I
this
think
was
everyone was spread out in the house, like
Mhm.
to like there was a little bit of like. That's the one thing I like. That's kind of like Fear of the Mind's good, but like when things are like that hectic, you can kind of sometimes get like mixed up.
Yeah.
Like there was that moment where
Right.
like when stuff happens, you forget kind of where stuff is, and you kind of forget where everyone. Because there was that moment where Evelyn wanted to drop through the thing to get Paulton, and she like. You kind of forget like where people are because he was on a floor up, right, rather than down.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remises asks, do we know what magic headgear Zaraj the Hunter was using to give him X-ray vision? And is shooting through walls a property of his bow or arrows? Strix did stash the 2 arrows that shot her.
Mhm.
I have my Dragon Heist. Does anybody know off the top of your head?
I don't know.
I'm checking it out. I don't know that in the book he has the ghost arrows or like what I assume is probably a ring of X-ray vision that he was using.
Yeah.
Because it does as an action let you see through stuff.
Chris described he had a helmet that had kind of like a plume or a
Good.
trail or something. I don't have the book right next to me, so I'm not positive. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember anything about, but I could be. I didn't.
From what I see, he has in the book he has +2 leather armor
Mhm.
and a really big longbow. And the only thing with the longbow is it shoots really big arrows, basically. So it could be something that Chris added, you know.
What's weird
Although,
is he
from
described.
the looks of it, he might be a paladin because he has dreadful aspect. He might be like a vengeance paladin, and he has smites. Oh my god!
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I know Chris.
Wow.
On this episode, Chris described the arrows as passing through the walls. But
Yeah.
on a previous episode, one of the giant arrows smashed through a window.
Yeah,
So,
that's one of the things. I think that's one of the things with is it arcane archers like that?
Maybe.
Vixen
Actually.
says it was a spell, but I'm not sure which. Simon says it was a spell. Zaraj mentioned how it was about to run out. Simon says true sight, maybe. Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Remisa said he did say it was a spell, but I thought Chris mentioned he also had a special helm or something. Yeah, because Chris described the helmet, and he said that Zaraj's eyes were glowing, but then the glow turned off, I think, once the power shut down.
Yeah.
It could be that Chris just gave like the properties of one magic item and gave it to another.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mix and match a little bit.
It looks like the ring of X-ray vision gives you X-ray vision for 1 minute. So it does have a time limit on it.
Mm-hmm.
I like how Chris you have a bad guy and they have some unique thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Chris just ties it. I mean, it's like common sense, But
Mhm.
for me, it's something it just goes right by me. He makes magic items feel special.
Mhm.
So even like a ring of X-ray vision, which is like in my head a piece of trash magic item,
Hey,
like I would get mad.
hey.
I would get mad if I got that
Ring of
item.
X-ray vision would be cool. It's better than
Yeah.
a ring of warmth. I'll say that.
And he made it really cool,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
something that makes the NPC stand out. And like,
Mhm.
ooh, that's that cool guy with the ring of X-ray vision,
Mm.
It's just like, how that's really cool. But it's like
Or
it's weird. It's like you should do that with every magic item that an NPC has. It's a magic item. It's a special thing, and it should make them special. And he does that. I think that's one of the really cool
Yeah.
things that he does really well. Because like a lot of times if you look at a stat block and you see that they have a magic item, it's
yeah.
easy to forget or just be
Yeah.
like, he's got a +1.
Yeah.
But this is like that's a feature. When you see them, the magic item has a big impact.
Yeah, it makes the character special too. Like you don't feel like it's like, okay, I know that this beholder has this thing, this effect, this effect. It's like if you change it
Yeah.
up a little bit, it's like, oh, this is
Mhm.
to be surprised like in combat.
Like it's really
Yeah.
cool when they don't just have a +1 weapon, they have like Black Edge the Slayer.
Mhm.
It could have the same stuff as a +1 weapon, but
Mhm.
it has a cool name and looks cool,
Mhm.
Your
Yeah.
players will dread it.
Yeah. And they
Mhm.
want to
Or not. They'll
get it.
kill him in one hit.
Usually they want to get it.
Usually, yeah.
Gotti says, I believe when someone casts True Sight, because you can see into the ethereal plane, which I guess is how he was seen through the walls. Sima says the ring of X-ray has a limited range of 30 feet. Zaraj was 50 feet away from the house. I don't know. It's not in the stat block. It sounds like this might be something that Chris made up or added.
For
Yeah,
sure,
I'm getting the
yeah.
hint that this is just kind of
For sure.
have that
I mean, Chris has
character,
done it
that
before.
NPC kind of like fit, kind of fit to what he wants to do with it. Like
Yeah.
that character, I think maybe acts differently in the book, maybe, but I guess where the Waffle Crew is also way higher in level than
Yes.
Zaraj is in the thing, so gotta have something.
It's true.
Vixen says Ring of Warmth. Maybe Evelyn will want that one. The Ring of Warmth.
You can have it.
Sima.
I hate it.
Sima says Paulton wouldn't like it, that's for sure. He's into a different style of rings. Yeah. Remises says Donar has one. It would have been more useful when they were fighting the Ring of Winter.
It's true.
Scotty says Ring of X-Ray does make a lot more sense. Didn't know it was a thing. And Vixen says, I just want Paulton to try other evil magic jewelry. Paulton?
Please no.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Isn't there a
No more Paulton
talisman
with
of
evil
ultimate
object.
evil? Yeah.
Oh, God.
He doesn't need that.
An amulet of the sphere.
Book of Vile Darkness. Yeah.
Oh God.
He doesn't need that stuff.
I gave my party that, and they don't want to attune to it. I can't believe it.
To the Book of Vile Darkness?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. Well, it's evil.
Yeah, I guess.
It was a very overlooked 4th edition supplement, the Book of Vile Darkness. It came with these awesome poster maps. You see it on like eBay or something for a few bucks, you should get it. Just for the poster map.
It has a lot of cool quotes from D&D villains too. Mm-hmm. Like from a lot of different settings, like Igwil, what's his name? Mm-hmm. Caius from Eberron, Lady Vol, just all over the place. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, those later 4th edition books were really good. It's funny, 5th has, I believe, 5th came out in 2014, right? So it's been 5 years.
Something like that.
4th only went from 08 to 12.
Yeah.
So 5th
they had
has already surpassed.
Yeah, 4th also had like a 0.5 in there too. They did the
Essentials.
The Essentials, yeah.
True.
Essentials, which had some cool stuff in there.
It's true.
There were a ton of books.
But it's funny.
There were a ton of books.
With 5th, to me, it still feels early.
It does, yeah.
They haven't done because I think because it's not the usual like release that they've had for like the last couple things. It's like they've been very light on splat books.
Yeah.
Like way more than I thought they'd be. Like they're very like.
It's worked really well. Just they still have a lot of. It's weird. It's like okay, so if once they release books on everything,
Hmm.
what are they going to do a new edition?
Um,
What if it still feels like this, like there's nothing to fix?
Mm.
I guess maybe like the route of like, yeah, because I think it's better for like the long term just to have like a bunch of campaign things and then slowly like add things that are like monsters and stuff like that rather than like the player options, because the player options get
Those
pretty
can get out of control.
wild
Yeah.
the later. Even for
Like,
you, even though it had like a short life,
Mm.
and
had
a
a
lot of
ton of
classes.
like classes. There were I think two books for like martial power or stuff like that. There were a
Yeah.
bunch of like class related books.
There were 3 players handbooks.
Hmm.
There were there's arcane power, martial power, primal power.
Yeah,
Like, here's the Shadowfell, here's the Feywild, which all have cool stuff in them, but
there
it
were
is
three
a lot.
players handbooks or players like
Yeah.
supplements. Like there was the two, and then there was one that was like it wasn't called three, but it kind of played. It seemed like it was three.
Yeah.
I forget the title of that one.
Remisis says Paulton has the teardrop earring, which Chris could turn into something more than a trinket. I don't even remember that. This should be on the wiki.
I always just see it in drawings.
Got to give props to Strix for dispelling everything. That's right.
Yeah,
Strix shut down the black tentacles and that cloud spell.
that would have for sure killed somebody, killed an NPC. Well, could have killed one of them because they've been getting like they got kind of like just hit by little things of damage over and over again. So one strong hit probably would have downed somebody.
They seem to have figured out which spells are important in a Perkins campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's not the typical spells, right? It's not really fireball.
Nope.
It's banish, counterspell, dispel magic, like stuff like that.
Any way to shut down Chris.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like the ones you can kind of use your imagination to kind of like take care of problems.
Chris
Are the
uses
ones
those
that,
spells, the big AoE spells, a lot. Totally like wreaks havoc. It's so weird. Like he uses spells that as a DM I would hesitate to use just because they're kind of complicated and is gonna get everything all. But he dives right in with those, and it like changes the whole combat.
Mm-hmm.
He makes sure his spellcasters get to cast their spells before the group can do anything to them.
yeah.
Yes.
Right, the spell they don't even know the bad guy is there, and the cloud is seeping up from the basement or the tentacles pop up. So it's another thing that I like. It's like you watch Chris and you kind of take notes on the stuff that he does, because it's easy to, if you throw a spellcaster NPC at the group, they'll
Uh-huh.
kill it in the first round before the
You
caster
yeah.
can
have
do
to,
much
yeah.
of anything.
Yeah.
So Chris is he's able to kind of work around that without it feeling like a cheat,
Well, it's like they have to now because like they're like finger of death is an option at their level. Banishments are at their level.
Mhm.
There's a lot of nasty stuff that you kind of have to like focus on.
Yeah, you have to figure, like, they know where they live. So and they know that they're probably gonna get wrecked if they just immediately go in there with nothing to protect them. So you have to figure they prep before a battle, mage armor,
Mhm.
haste, this and that.
Because they're like, they're not sending the flunkies are dead now. Like,
Yeah.
these are like the core members of each of these factions going after them. Like, it's for the stone, so it's like you're not going to send like your warning parts. You're going to send, your goons that can get stuff done.
It's a cool encounter where the bad guys set up and spread out. So you've got an archer outside shooting into the building, someone else creeping in, and others hiding in the basement. So it's interesting. It's much better as a DM. It's kind of like you place the temptation is just to stick them on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Just I really like some of the stuff he did on this. Remisis says, I liked her showing off without trying to show off to Esvel. Strix, Esvel like was able to dodge the tentacles and kind of gave Strix kind of a, and so then Strix just shut them all off. just dispelled the whole thing. And I was like, oh, okay. Strix says those 2 magic rings she got off the Xanathar that Chris tried to block her from identifying by saying it cost 100 gold pieces pearl for each cast.
Mm.
You know, if Chris blocked it, he does use the components. He does use the ones that cost money. Like
Yeah.
And those are hard to remember off the top of your head. But
Yeah.
he seems to. This must be something he does a lot because he's always ready for those certain spells. You need this blah blah blah. It costs 100 or 1,000.
The only thing is, I don't know if identify consumes the pearl. It doesn't say specifically.
I don't know.
That's one of the weird things with material components.
I think unless I think it
does it.
I think the general rule of thumb is like if it says if it consumes the thing, if it doesn't say it doesn't consume the thing.
Yeah.
Because I know what was it like? Yeah, the resurrection specifically says it consumes
the diamond.
Yeah.
As a player, I think I would get annoyed if I looked at my spell list and looked and found those things and went out of my way to use my money to buy those items, and then like you fall into lava or something and they get destroyed. I would be annoyed, even though that's a fair thing.
I would cry.
Yeah, because you're going way out of your, it's just, but
that's
as
one
long
of
as
those
you're
weird
upfront as a DM about it in the beginning, then I think it's cool. It's okay.
I mean, they've sort of done that in 5th edition where stuff that you're wearing or carrying doesn't burn or catch fire or stuff, which doesn't make any sense like in an actual world scenario, but also like I protect all my things,
Yeah, it's the same reason like people can't get disarmed unless otherwise like you can't like I'm gonna target his hand so he can't like he'll drop the thing. It's like
that's always a sticky thing in D&D disarming. It's always like a because when you have it's a whole thing.
It's fun to do though.
Yeah, Vixen says I like Black Viper parkour versus Dieth parkour. I wish those two could have like a little adventure together as a team.
Yeah,
I think they're cool together.
Although I think after like all this, I kind of want the Waffle Crew core just to kind of be by themselves for a while after all this.
Yeah. The 2 guests definitely like slowed it down. I like them.
Well, I mean, it's also like it's not such that. So we've had guests before. I think it's the amount of NPCs that they them.
Yeah.
I feel like they should send the kids away to boarding school.
I mean, that would work. Yeah.
Like an adventurer's boarding school or something.
Maybe after they get the gold, they could do that. It depends on how much they give away, I guess.
Because they are definitely not safe where they are right now.
No, they're not.
No.
I made in my Planescape campaign, I had a school for adventuring princesses or something where, wealthy planar kings would send their daughters to teach them etiquette, magic, and fighting, So, when I had my Donald Trump NPC, he sent his daughter, his Ivanka, there. So she was like a epic adventurer. Anyway, Scotty says, Chris Perkins said in his Behind the Curtains interview on Critical Role that they slowed down the amount of books they create because they didn't want to run into the problem 3E and 4E had, where players by the end of the editions felt like they needed a lot of books in order to make a character.
Yeah.
I think Pathfinder has the same problem.
Because it's hard. Yeah, it's hard for a DM also because it's like...
Yeah.
You can see a lot of things like, is that a real... Because I know it's like playing... Just like playing in a high level game, it's like, is that like we use like Xanathar spells? Like, is that a real spell? It's like, yeah, it is good, but like imagine that with like 8 other like supplement books. Like, please show me on the thing where that doesn't sound real because they don't sound real. Like
Illusory Dragon, really?
Illusory Dragon does not sound real. It's like,
all right. Ramisis says that the earring came from the Shatterkai assassins as a reward.
That's right. Okay.
Chris initially told Strix there were 2. Then in the episode where she brought it up again, he said 3.
Okay.
Sima, the Abjurer is actually the natural enemy of Chris Perkins. I always get the schools of magic confused. Ramisis says, I think the trinket table where Chris got that only lists a single earring. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Vixen, why would Chris make it easy for the Waffle Crew? After level 1, they are ready for... What? After level 1, they are ready for anything. I don't think so. All right, let's see. Sima, identify doesn't consume, and that's why I'm still upset. Chris doesn't let them cast it. Oh, okay. That might just be a mistake that Chris just isn't aware of.
Possibly.
That's one of the things when I first started watching Dice Camera Action, I was very relieved about was that Chris doesn't know all the rules by heart either.
Yeah.
Because I always felt like, I had such a long way to go as a DM, and I would always make mistakes and I'd get mad. But then I saw that everybody, even Chris, makes mistakes, and so it's like, okay, nobody can remember everything. So
Yeah.
that was like a big relief to me. So I don't really mind that so much. I mean, it just might be something that's how he does it, or he just doesn't know. Remises, Chris let the crew identify the gifts they got behind the bar for free. Then he made them pay someone to identify the wand of conducting. And then Chris just flat out told Strix, you need 100 gold piece pearl. So it feels like he's purposely keeping her from identifying those. Oh.
It could be because they're actually cool magic items.
You got maybe work.
Do things as opposed to like a capability.
That is weird where he changes it. That is odd.
That is weird.
That might be like maybe he doesn't want them to know just yet. Vixen, it seems like those rings are going to be important, and maybe Chris is using the components to keep them from doing it. Them finding out what the rings are could have changed where the story was going. Yeah. Vixen, please don't send the kids to boarding school. They need love and care. Also, Simon would hate getting his freedom taken.
Squidly needs structure. Squidly needs structure.
The kids are going to die. That's the thing. They're in a house. I mean,
Squidly
they're
has
living
no
in a
self.
house where Drow just tried to kill everybody with poison gas, and flying snakes tried to drop alchemist fire on the house.
Yeah,
they're gonna die.
They will die. This is not the first time they've almost died.
It's if you called CPS on them, right? The kids are not gonna stay in the house. They're gone.
No.
Right? Just the one look at the living conditions.
Yeah.
The toilet paper is probably,
I think they'd be like, why are
there's
so many children in here? Like, why?
Like there's no.
There aren't even enough bedrooms.
Yeah.
Also, they're like, the owl bear lives next.
There's an owl bear.
There's a huge hole in the floor. Where'd that hole come from? Oh,
there is no
earth
house
elemental
left.
went down there to kill some dark elves.
There's a tunnel directly to the sewers.
Why is the ceiling being rebuilt? It's because, there's an explosion.
Several
unseen servants that regularly attack people.
Yeah. We have an imp problem.
Yeah.
What are these marks on this child? Oh, those are imps that stung him to death. It's just not a good place for kids to be. Let's face it. They need to
How do you get this? Safe. Oh, he had a gun. It's okay. And he fell off the roof. It's like, that's fine.
Yeah, the kid had a gun. It's not a safe place for a kid.
No.
For me, it's like the kids. I like the kids, but it slows it down. That's part of the reason. He went through the whole initiative order, and then he went to the kids, and everybody played the kids as well. It's just like, I don't know. It's just too much for me. Please don't send the kids. All right, so Scotty, some of the Xanathar spells do sound like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, but I played D&D with this guy Chris for a while. And he used to get mad when I would try to make a Yu-Gi-Oh reference and I don't know what I'm talking about. So sometimes when something would happen, I'd go, hey, Chris, trap card. He'd go, that's not how it works. So I would just say trap card all the time. Like there's a spike pit, I just played trap card. Like yellow eyes, blue dragon. Yeah. What are you? I don't know what that is.
Blue eyes, white dragon.
I have no idea. Sima. We could go to the Gitzerai Crash in the dungeon of the Madme. Ooh, and try to see if they'll take in the kids. That's actually that would be so cool if they did that. Oh, it's a Githyanki crate. No, that's a horrible idea. Yeah, no, if it's a Gitzerai, it'd be really cool.
I don't trust Gitzerai or Githyanki to raise my children.
Oh, Gitzerai would be really cool. Meditate. You could
all the Gith are cool.
Mutability.
I don't think that those kids don't seem like that type. Into that.
Simon could use some meditation.
Hmm.
He's a troubled youth.
I mean,
Is he a youth? Is he
well,
70-year-old?
body-wise.
Yeah.
Evil. Well, he's not really evil anymore.
That's
Chaotic neutral.
day to day.
Scotty, if the kids are sent to boarding school, yeah, they'll end up like the schoolgirls in Hell's Rebels. Yeah, they could form their own Thieves Guild. Simon,
Oh,
I'd
boy.
say there's a slight difference between how Githzerai and Githyanki treat no Gith creatures. True. Githyanki being canonically extremely xenophobic. Very true.
I don't know. In Planescape, there are a lot of references to the Githzerai being xenophobic too. Just saying.
Remises, I like Genkaiko's picture showing Simon commenting he now feels bad for using poison after feeling the effects of poison himself. Well, he was a murder bot.
Yeah. Wasn't his fault.
He killed a little kid. At least one.
That's not. That's.
But that was.
So he fits right in the Waffle Crew.
That was Simon 1.
Vixen. The Waffle Crew would be fine if they spent a year resolving all their problems and then not making any more problems for themselves. They could have a happy ending and the kids could be safe. However, if that happened, the show would probably end. Yeah.
I mean,
this is probably the closest we're gonna get. This is the longest they've been semi-stable as far as location-wise. So,
I'm trying to think if there's anywhere that they've been where they could leave the kids and then they'd be safe.
Oh God.
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Just away from them, honestly.
What about that dwarf city that they were in for a while?
Citadel Adbar?
That's in the middle of nowhere, yeah.
No.
I don't know.
You know what? Remember when they were doing the Yakfolk village thing?
Yeah.
They met the Elven Princess.
Yeah.
They could send the kids to the Elven Princess's forest home.
Maybe.
They'd be safe. They'd learn the ways of the elves. That'd be cool.
Squidly could get a nice elven bow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Let's see. Any more? Diath also killed a little kid.
Yep.
Sure did.
To be fair,
yeah. I got more notes from the show. Let's see what we got. I'm not sure if I should say any much about the Sea Maidens Fair. It's kind of spoilery if you don't know.
I mean, we know that Evelyn's been on their ships, and
we know who.
And we know who's on the ship. Yeah. So, and we know about the Scarlet Marpanoff as well.
All right. Well, so basically, Sea Maidens Fair is run by Zarda Zord. Zarda Zord is Jarlaxle in disguise. So this parade was all a scheme by Jarlaxle to distract while his drow go in there and try to get the stone. So it is going to be weird next week if all of the factions just descend on the Castle Lanter's place.
It's true.
It's going to be odd. I mean, we're going to do that all again.
That's why I don't think Chris might not do that.
Yeah.
You know.
I also think it'd be really cool for Strix and Evelyn flying around fighting imps, and that'd be a really cool thing. You could get like one of the Griffin watch guards involved, you know.
True.
I'm not sure if
the Flying Devils.
The other factions have flying people. Zentarim have the snakes, and Jarlaxle doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't really have any people who fly.
I mean, Drow levitate.
Oh, okay.
There's that.
And they have guns.
They have guns, yeah.
Sniper rifles. The parade, Chris also put in a little cameo in the parade of the floats that are in the adventure. So you got to look at the dragon float that actually breathes fire. And the big flump balloon, which I thought was really cool. So Waffles pulled Polton's dying corpse partially down the stairs.
Yeah.
And there was a point where Diath kind of had a choice to make. Check on the bag of holding or stabilize Simon. And he was kind of agonizing over it, but he did go to stabilize Simon.
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering if he had gone for the bag of holding, if Simon would have just died. Probably, right?
Maybe. That's very possible.
Maybe.
All right, let's see here. Spiegel. Hey, Spiegel, how are you? The Waffle Crew does not engage problems on their own. Chris always has to throw them back at it. That was towards the end of the episode. They actually talked about this. And it wasn't in a, like, downbeat manner.
Yeah.
It was in a pump Diath up. None of us can do this except you, so please tell us what to do kind of way, which I thought was really cool. And what was really cool was he actually did come up with a plan real quick while the bad guys were banished. But of course, here's the thing. The plan was to split the party.
Oh, yeah.
Is it just me, or
Dire
does splitting
times.
the party make for cool sessions?
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's like what was it in TV and stuff? It's like rule twos. You pair off people and you kind of like have them kind of like bounce off each other, like little dynamics that usually kind of get drowned out. That can get drowned out when the entire group is together. So I kind of like that just from character standpoint.
Yeah. Like O'Brien and Bashir on DS9.
Yeah.
That sort of dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it whenever DF and Evelyn like split off, just because it's like some of the stuff that bothers them actually comes out a little bit. Whereas I think any other thing they kind of like clam up because they're just like they don't want to like hurt the other one's feelings, or they have like complicated relationship with them, stuff like that.
It's more unpredictable when they split up. It feels much more dangerous.
Yes.
Which I get a kick out of, in D&D. I don't want it to feel too safe,
Yeah.
Which it can for sure.
I never want it to feel like filler.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like filler when they split because they're doing something you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
So it like ratchets everything up. And it also makes you want to see them all together again. And it makes the times when they're together feel more special. Remisis, did you see the Idol Champions interview with Kate and Holly? They revealed the next 2 episode titles and that there will be another Waffles Inc. No, I did not. Holy cow. Wow. There will be another Waffles Inc. Was that going to be every Christmas, you think? Or maybe? I don't know.
Maybe.
It was coming around, what was it? When was the last one? That was like
I want to say August or September.
August, yeah.
Yeah.
It
was episode 100, so 30 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So a little bit.
They do. All right. So last year was the Stream of Many Eyes, and that was in June.
Yeah.
It was.
That's only a few months away, believe it or
not. And the Stream Annihilation was at like the end of May, right? So it's around that time of year.
So
summer.
In a month or so, we should be finding out more about that. If they're going to do another one. They probably will, right?
They usually have at least have something.
It's cool. Each one is bigger than the last one, too.
It's true.
Yeah.
Sima.
Intrigue.
It's weird. Those things are weird. It's like, what is it?
Yeah.
Is it something they want people to buy tickets for?
I guess we'll figure it out.
They've been kind of thing.
Yeah, they've been kind of testing what works. So I imagine it's gonna be something different.
I feel like it should be a con. I think if they want to make money off it, that's what I think.
I mean, it's mostly like all this stuff is primarily for like promotion and stuff like that. I think it's to put a con together. It's way more people. Like I think it's a huge undertaking to do a convention. So I don't know if
it's more just like a TV show kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's
sort of like you bring in like all of these notable D&D people, or maybe I guess it's really sort of like a promotion for all the stuff, the new product, and for their shows that they have on their channel. I guess. And a couple like special things.
Like before Dragon Heist got announced, they had here's what's happening in Neverwinter. Here's what's happening in Idle Champions. Here's Roll20 stuff. So, yeah,
it's cool. Sima, Paulton actually initiated. He initiated the conversation with Diath again on his own 2 episodes ago. So he's trying to engage
Yes.
that problem. That
Mhm.
is, that's very true. It was Paulton that
Yeah.
that just brought all, and that's something, yeah, that he you don't expect him to do. He
hmm
did. It's been interesting to see him continue. How do I put it? Nate is all in on this show. You know, they all are.
Mhm.
But it's like, it seems like as time goes on, they get more invested in it, which is interesting for a long campaign, because I've found that sometimes when you run a campaign for a long time,
hmm
if you're not careful, it falls flat. You know.
Mhm.
I
So,
guess it depends on if it stays engaging or not.
mhm,
You know,
yeah.
that's one of those big questions.
Sometimes what happens is the players start to miss stuff that used to happen but doesn't
Yeah.
anymore because they're higher level, or there was some story that was going on that they were really into, and now that it's resolved, they feel kind of like lost.
Yeah.
Just wish it was still around somehow. Let's see. Remises. Yeah, I want to get to that, and now Diaz might feel more pushed to do it after Paulton called them best friends.
You did.
Mhm.
Didn't expect that either, right?
No.
Yeah.
Are they best friends?
Yeah, I mean that's his. Yeah.
That's his feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking it's not
Yeah.
Paulton and Strix aren't best friends.
No.
Paulton and
No.
Evelyn are kind of like awkward.
Yeah. Now it's.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Did you see good tweets? Did you see? There was a little bit of a of like a little like Twitter question thing going on. It's like, what was your character's like Google history would be?
Oh, yeah.
Anna's one was a little like, oh, because it's like there's stuff like, oh, what does Lathander say about love? And it's like getting over the love of your life. And it's like, oh, this might be more, over than
Yeah.
like maybe
Really?
Paulton had his chance, and it's like Evelyn's not gonna.
Hey, he had many, 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 many chances.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
It's
Very true.
Todd time.
It's Todd time, yeah. It's Todd. It's
Let's
Todd's
see.
time to shine.
Vixen. It's not like the Castellaners don't deserve it. They want to save their children, yet they sent their imps to get the stone at any cost, a cost which included the possible death of a child. They're
I mean, they're
weird.
still evil. They're still evil. They want to
Yeah.
save their children, but they are evil.
Yeah.
They're weird. Yeah.
You know, part of me feels like the children thing is just like keeping their legacy of their family
Mhm.
more so than the
Yeah.
fact that they're kids. It's
I feel
like,
like
oh,
it's like
our family's gonna die. Oh,
like
we gotta maintain the business.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like you undersold like the value of your children for like, man,
Yeah.
like, what are you gonna do? All your children are like devils now. Like,
Yeah.
what happens?
Vixen, do you think Jared had a plan all along but was just holding back? Good question. Do you think Jared had that plan, or did he actually pull it out on the spot?
Can't say.
I don't know.
I think he did.
I mean,
It felt like he did. Pull it out right
it's
there.
possible.
It's interesting. Plan.
Plans. D&D plans.
You go this way, I'll go that way. Well, it made sense. You two can fly. Go fly.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you could have just said, we know they're going to the Castellanters, so let's go to the Castellanters.
Yeah.
Although you can't have these two banished people just appear in your house and you're not there. That would have been weird. So,
Although, like, Strix and Evelyn, if things go bad, have the best chance of getting out.
Remises. He has plenty of time to come up with a plan while 5 other people take their turn. True. Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Spiegel, as a viewer, I have no problem splitting the party, but as a player, this leads to a lot of downtime. Yeah, it's difficult. Yes, it is. It's the worst when you split the party and then you look at the players who aren't doing anything. I hate that feeling. It makes my skin crawl. Remises. Waffles Inc. and Cathrismus Eps were both taped at the same time. Waffles Inc. aired in July. Oh, and Cathrismus aired in December. Oh, well, I wonder if they're going to do that again. Maybe for episode 100. What are we at? 133, 150? Maybe they'll do Waffles Inc. again.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I do like it that it's like it's a limited. They keep it limited because it's like every time they do the split thing,
Mhm.
it becomes hard to keep track of everything.
Hmm.
Remises. Initially, no one knew whether the second Christmas was even canon, but then Evelyn said Omen threw us a great party in a recent ep, officially making it canon.
Yeah.
Vixen. The Waffle Crew has been suboptimal since episode 1, and I think they're still semi-sub. You think so? They're still semi-suboptimal?
Yeah,
At times.
You think so?
At
I think
times.
so.
I think all D&D parties are at times. So
I don't think they're fine.
yeah, at times.
Now, I think they're fine. They don't really have your standard encounter ever.
Well, no, that's true.
They always have these sprawling, nutty things.
Which
Which
I always think that's Chris's strength, like the really weird, sprawling, just a lot of things happening. I always feel like he runs those really, really well.
he does.
You know?
He does. Sima. Oh, spoiler warning. Something Castellanters. Something Midnight Tears. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Let's see. Am I at the bottom yet? I want to catch the last ones. Sima. Pretty sure if Paulton would have gone for the wine in that, on that underground lair in the Castellanter estate, he'd be in for a big surprise. Since that's where. Oh, yikes.
Oh, okay. Yikes. Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah, so we should find they're gonna probably go to the back to the Castellanters next episode.
Yep. It's gonna be 2 weeks, or I mean 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks.
That's true. We have a Chickenfoot Coven episode, and then Kate Welsh's episode. That's right.
Maybe Chickenfoot Coven helps put the house back together. I don't think it's in business shape.
We're gonna have a Chickenfoot Coven episode next
week. So Tuesday.
Run by Holly, right?
Yes, Holly's running that, and then
run by Holly.
Kate Welch is running the
PAX East.
The PAX East episode on Thursday.
And Shawnee, you're going to PAX East, right?
I'm going to PAX East, but yeah, I'm not going. I can't go on that Thursday.
Ah, shucks.
Okay. Wow. So next Tuesday, Chickenfoot Coven.
Mm-hmm.
And then there will be a special one a few days later. Next Thursday? A week from today?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Gonna be weird.
Yes. Definitely.
That'd be funny if we could do a live waffle talk while it's going.
Oh my god.
That would.
Oh god.
That wouldn't work at all.
No, we'd all just be sitting here watching.
Twitch. The Twitch multi-stream.
Then we talk over it.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work at all.
Watch us watch it.
I could do like on football games where they draw, like you circle a guy, you're right over here. I'd be like, what I think we need to do here. I could start drawing like numbers and stuff like that. Let's see. Sima, can't wait for Rosie to come by and just try and set Diath and Strix up for 2 full hours. That would be awesome. Remisis, if any of you go to the Q&A at PAX East, please make sure it's taped this time or take notes. Sean, are you going to be able to go to the Q&A?
I have. When is the Waffle Crew?
I've not looked at the PAX East.
I've PAX is going to be pretty busy. Let me see.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. They haven't said. I don't know. I'm probably not going to do it's going to be crazy, I think.
Yeah.
It's funny. We went to it was so weird for people watching this. All of us met in real life for the first time at PAX Unplugged.
Right after the DCA Q&A.
Yeah, in November. Yeah, and it was so weird. We were all there, and at the Q&A, a couple of people that we play with actually asked questions at the Q&A. They got up on the mic. It was so strange. It was such a strange thing. It was really cool, though. The PAX cons that was really fun. So I would say anybody who lives near Boston, you might want to just go at least for a day to check it out because it was a lot of fun, especially if you talk to people online and you get to meet them. To me, that was the fun part of the whole thing.
Although I think
we got to play D&D together, a lot of us.
Although really the regular packs are a different beast though than the Unplugged, which is it's actually a lot more manageable. I think it's less people and it's the focus is there, so it's just.
And we went to Shauna's panel that you had with Grant Ellis, Kika, and Nomadic. It was awesome. You're doing another one, right?
Yeah, with same thing. Yeah, turns out it's a representation in in role-playing games. So, yep.
Maybe someday we'll do a Waffle Talk panel at a PAX.
Oh God,
I'd love to meet the
That'd be
people
wild.
in the chat.
that would be
who
fun.
could
Yeah.
really geek out about Dice Camera. I only remember on episode 3,
I'm trying to see when this question
I
is.
do also, people in the chat, I am thinking soon about going back and doing a Waffle Talk, because we started Waffle Talk around episode 77. So there are no Waffle Talks for episodes 1 through 76. And I'm thinking about going back and, in addition to keeping up with the show, retroactively doing Waffle Talks for all the old episodes. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, let me know. I was thinking there's a site called Rabbit at rabb.it where you can watch shows together. So I was thinking what I might do, watch it on Rabbit, and then right after do a Waffle Talk, and we could then we could go all the way up, and there'll be a Waffle Talk for every single episode. And I might see if I could get Anna or Holly to guest, especially for episode 1, just to hear them talk about how they felt when they first started.
God, that's so
long.
Yeah, just to see.
That's always cool. How like a character's evolved from episode 1 to yeah.
Yeah, because they're different.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The first episode is really wacky.
For sure.
All right, why don't we do some plugs before we wrap it up? Shauna, do you have any plugs?
Yep, at PAX on Friday the 29th, PAX East Boston. I'll be on a panel, historical and visual transgender representation RPGs, 4:30 p.m. So be with Grant Ellis, Print XEMU, Prozile, and Kika Delrose, who is Darnier Hall who will be on next week's episode. So that'll be interesting. It'll be quite the thing. And then regular games, Hell's Rebels, which is on this channel. It's a bunch of nobles and their like murder elf friend try to upend a rule by devil worshippers.
And your army of zombies, which all have magic items.
Yes, our army of zombies who are the equivalent of like a 3rd or 4th level adventurer.
I wish that were me.
And we turned them into a bunch of maids, and they basically episode swarmed a poor Barbdell, or like Barbdell, who just like poured in, just got eaten immediately. That poor thing. But yes.
Dylan, do you have any plugs?
Hey, I do. On Saturday, right here on Power Square RPG at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we're playing more Dungeon of the Mad Mage, where we're exploring level 1 of Undermountain. So far, we've met a bunch of goth kids pretending to be vampires, found a heart that killed someone instantly.
Yep, there's been one PC casualty already in this thing. Poor.
And at the end of last episode, I get sneak attacked by 2 bugbears and went from full health all the way to half. So come watch.
Chris Crash will be the only one that lives. Chris Crash at the Immortal.
I wouldn't be surprised. The one Sean wants to kill is the one who lives.
Chris Crash.
Vixen, episode 1, even though when I first saw it, I thought it was boring because I didn't know what D&D was. Seems like a lot of people kind of learn. That's one of the things I like about Dice Camera Action is quite a few people seem like they learned about D&D through the show. So it's very interesting.
Your whole Dungeon Academy crew, basically.
Yeah, everybody on my Dungeon Academy show.
Yeah.
Had pretty much not really played much D&D before, and so it's very cool.
Freaking wild.
And so I Dungeon Academy, that'll be on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. The group is it's been crazy since they're in Barovia and they got sucked into this. One character got sucked into a pit, and it's just like a whole thing.
One of them's a Dark Lord.
Yeah, It's a big thing going on.
Mess.
Some of them just went to Sigil.
That's true. Yeah.
It was a whole thing. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody in the chat for chiming in and making the show a bajillion times better. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you again next week. Thank you all for watching. See you later. Goodbye.